Hello everybody, Nerdroc here. Welcome to another episode of Good Times on the Vanilla server. And gonna do a little building today, but before that, I want to show you something pretty cool I made the other day. I realized that because of some of these beacon abilities, specifically Haste 2, that something like the Obsidian farm design that you've seen around would be pretty useful to actually have on your base within that beacon aura, so to speak. So I made myself a little obsidian farm. Now I'm sure some people consider it an exploit because I guess it's not the natural behavior of lava and water. You're supposed to have to use a lava source, but it's something that's been in the game for a long time, so I don't feel like it's a cheat. And you're using resources to get it. So figured it was about time I made a decent obsidian farm. And especially since redstone drops from witches now, makes a lot of sense to use it. So went ahead and built this. It's a little fancy considering how seldomly I'll probably use it, but I like the way it looks, and I'll show you the way it works. Basically, you hit this button once, and it's all pre-timed out to let a small lava blade drop down. And with Haste 2 and an Efficiency 5 pick, getting that obsidian is really no problem at all. And it's a pretty painless process. No trouble at all, and because it's far enough away from anything flammable, nothing's on fire. So, I'm going to give you an idea of how this works. It's all about finding the right timing. For me it seemed to be, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 repeaters on 4 ticks each. And this is just a pulse extender. Basically the redstone wire goes along all of these blocks, and as long as one of them is powered, the entire line will be powered. And by doing that, it makes the pulse of the button click last even longer. So that's how that works, not too complicated. And really like the way it came out. If you hit the button while it's full, it's no big deal. Now, if I were to sit here and spam on the button, that would probably be a problem. So if a bunch of people had to use this, I would probably install some sort of pulse generator or monostable to make sure that didn't happen. But it's fine. It works fine for now. And I'm the only one really using it, me and Cindy, so not too worried about it. So what I wanted to do today was actually head over to the witch farm and start working on something else I've got started over there, which is an ice farm. Now, I don't know if you've seen my slime chime on one of my past episodes, but my style of building is not really to make the fastest. It's usually not even the most practical. Sometimes I try to be a little practical in design, but really my designs are just kind of for coolness factor, basically. So like the slime chime, for example. It makes your base have a ambient music thing going on, and it's got like what sounds like a wind chime, and it's just cool. There's really no benefit to it, and it's a pretty good amount of work to get that working for just what it does. But I like knowing that I'm probably the only person out there with a slime chime in their base. I'd like to see it catch on. Actually, in Doc M's latest video, or not the latest video, a couple of videos back, he actually got pranked by Generic B, and he put like robo-peckers in his base, and I thought that was really cool. I was like thinking he should have kept those things there, at least a couple of them, because it really made his jungle sound different. It actually had like, you know, woodpecker sounds in the background, so I thought that was pretty cool. So like I was saying, my designs are for coolness factors. So this ice farm is completely impractical. There's really no advantage to be had from building it this way other than it's just really cool. And I'm going to show you what that's all about. The design I came up with is a bit different than the ones I've seen out there, even for this style of ice farm. But what's cool is it's modular, so you could build as many as you want. Which farm is really up and kicking right now? I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this yet. I really, for some reason, think the rails are always going to end up being the the best way for this. I mean, I could set up some sort of a sifter, but they don't even seem to spawn if you're not moving. And you know, as much as I like the idea of building up the area around here, this is never going to really replace the desert base. So an AFK is something I really would like to have on this system. Anyway, so this is what the ice farm is going to look like. It basically grows a column of ice straight up. And I'm going to go underground and show you what it looks like. But mine's a little different from the others out there also because it's flush with the ground. So I'm going to show you exactly how this works. Hopefully I have some extra ice. Yes, I do. Alright, I'm going to jump over there. First of all, we have a water source. And one source is exposed. We're in a, what's the name of the biome again? A taiga biome. Basically one of the snowy biomes. So any water source exposed to the sky is going to freeze eventually. So we cover up 2 of them, leave this one opened, and whenever this is moved, it will be replaced. So basically what happens is whenever this freezes, it activates a bud switch, which activates a sticky piston to pull the block out, up, over, and up. So I'm going to place a block there to show you what it looks like, and we'll go from there. And just one more time. So, a couple of differences between this one and the other ones I've seen. This one cannot jam, and I'm going to show you how that works as well. Usually, when it reaches the piston pushing limit, these types of machines will jam, and you'll have to go down there and replace it. But what I came up with is this little tube here. So basically, that block is going to usually end up melted. And that's fine as long as none of the blocks next to it update. Like if I broke this block right here, this would come flying out, this water, because it's melted. But because there's no block underneath it, it's fine. And then eventually when the block is underneath it, it's going to be blocked off by the wall, so it's not going to go anywhere. So basically it never reaches its limit because the top block always melts. So it never ever jams. And you can just go over to it with a Silk Touch pick and grab the ice out, and it will grow right back up. So you're probably thinking this is an extremely inefficient design, and it is. But because I have so much stuff, it's not really a problem. I'm going to build probably 4 to 8 of these, depending on how I feel. I'll probably stop at 4. But I'm hoping it's going to look really cool. I might raise these up a bit so it actually looks like kind of like icicles all over the place. So I want to try to make it look like something on the map. So see if I can do it. But I'm really happy with the way the design came out. Let me explain a little bit how it works as I build another one right here. And I don't have redstone torches, so let me go get those and get on with it. So, what to talk about? I never really told you guys anything about my Hurricane Sandy experience. Just kind of went right to the tour last time when Cindy was joining us, so maybe I'll talk a little bit about that. It was interesting, to say the least. You know, it's such a cliche thing, everybody says it, but my town is such kind of like it's a small little town. It's not like a tiny town, but it's a little suburban town like any other suburban town you'd see, and you just never really expect to see the level of devastation that hurricane brought. I can tell you unquestionably, nobody here expected it. I don't think this is gonna be, oh, that might be enough redstone torches. Nobody here expected the level of damage that thing brought. Just about everybody was taken by surprise, and you can hear me, I'm stumbling over my words. It's actually kind of hard to talk about, because, you know, I'm not going to say, like, where I live is perfect or anything, but you never want to see your hometown just completely torn apart like I saw mine. But luckily, I was extremely lucky. No water got into my family's house at all. Most of my friends were pretty lucky as well, but driving down the roads, you could see some of my neighbors were not so much. So, oof, you gotta just be lucky and count your lucky stars, I suppose. Okay, so I'm not gonna explain too much about how this works. If you really want to see how to do this and how it works, go check out the CMB Minecraft video for inline bud switches, or just search for bud switches. And he'll explain who originally designed this and how it works and all that jazz. But I don't really feel the need to get too much into it. There's tons of videos out there about it. I'll just explain the parts that make my little design unique. So, just finishing up the monostable. So I was talking about Sandy. So, like I said, I was rather lucky. But what I did have to do is live without power for 2 weeks, and though I was quite thankful that's all it was not a pleasant experience. You don't realize how much you miss certain things, whoops, like heat and hot water, especially. And when you don't get those things, whoops, that's not what I want. Sorry about that. When you don't get those things, it's not a fun time. You really don't know what to do with yourself. Because you rely on it. Whoa, you rely on that stuff for so much. Electricity. It's not just television and internet. You know, it's actually a fairly important part of your life. And we actually had a blizzard the next week. I mean, can you believe that? Right after Hurricane Sandy, where it hit with just an absolute miserable blizzard. And no, it was just we couldn't catch a break. And these poor families with all their stuff out on the road, they're emptying their stuff out into the road while just chaos is breaking loose everywhere. It really was just not pleasant at all. Let's give me 1 second here. Think about what I'm doing. But, like I said, luckily it wasn't too bad for me. Just had to get along without power for a few days. Which, though not pleasant, I could live with it. You know, it was nothing compared to what some other poor people went through, so it's times like that you just have to tell yourself you're lucky and grin and bear it, basically. But man, was it not too fun during those days, I'll tell you that much. A lot of coffee runs to stay warm. All that stuff. Is this gonna work? I think every single one of these I've done a different way, because I never remember how I did it the first time. But it doesn't matter, this works. Lay on here. Yep, that'll work. Alright, we should be good. Let's see. A little more delay. Let's see. There we go. And we're done. I'm gonna add the water source. But yeah, if you've never lived through a horrible hurricane, I wouldn't recommend it. If you're ever in an area and the authorities tell you you should probably leave, you should probably leave. These poor people in some of the towns, they thought nothing was gonna happen, and oh, how they were wrong. So heed my advice. That's all I could say. Alright, this is working. And as you can see, the other ice generator here has built a couple of cubes. Not super fast or anything. I also have one back over here, but since I never built the roof, this was kind of like my test model. Since I never built the roof, it probably jammed up. Roof is an important part of this design. I've seen other ones out there like this, but don't know if anyone realized they could just kind of put a cap on it. I'm going to try to raise it up a bit, though. So this is up and running. I'm going to cover it up with some snow. Let me make myself a stone shovel. Tell you, I'm running out of projects to do. We've done quite a bit. We were talking about the possibility of doing some sort of squid farm, but that would be not easy. Even in the desert where I am, you got to get rid of water. From what I can tell and what I've read, within about 250 by 250 square, basically, around wherever you want the farm to be. That doesn't sound very doable with our current situation. There's oceans all around us. Serge lives in a swamp, so not sure exactly what we're gonna do. But we will come up with some more projects. Probably gonna terraform this area quite a bit because we haven't done much terraforming. If you're wondering what I'm doing, there's basically just 2 snow golems pushed into one little cube, and what it does is it makes it so that there's always snow on the ground, so you can pretty much shovel up the snow at lightning speed. It's a great building block if you're doing a large project or something. However, when you break it, it becomes snowballs, so it's also kind of annoying. But for this, it's pretty perfect. And I want to explain a couple of things about why I have so many pistons down there, because you're probably wondering why I don't just pull the cube out and go up, and that's because I don't want to have, you know, like where the sources needs to be open to the sky, and I don't want to just have a hole in the ground that you can fall into. I want to be able to build around it, and if this were here, you couldn't do that. You'd pretty much mine through that and fall in a hole. So that's why I gotta have all those pistons in there making this work. But totally worth it for the coolness factor. I have an idea of how I'd like this to look when it's all finished, and definitely hope I'm able to achieve that. I guess I used dirt on the other one. It really won't matter. Hopefully it'll just snow. Oops. Hopefully it'll just snow and cover all the soil at some point. I don't have any more. Alright, well, not going to waste time on screen getting that working. What I am going to do is throw a torch down there so I don't get any mobs. But I'm going to have a whole bunch of these to make, so we'll see how cool we can get it to look. But it's an awful lot of time I'm spending on something that will probably get very little usage. It's okay though. It's a fun project. Trying to think of some more. Next on the horizon, I believe, is going to be the Iron Golem farm. Especially since I just wasted 4 stacks of iron blocks doing a certain something. Actually, I may as well tell you, I finally pranked Reach. Not sure if he's seen it yet. I think he has, actually. I don't know if he's recorded it yet or if he's edited down the footage. But it's a pretty funny video. And I'm looking forward to seeing what his reaction to it was. But I will post that, of course, as soon as he posts his, or lets me know that he's ready to post his. And that'll be some fun stuff. So let's see. What else can we do? I'm gonna kill the spider, that's for sure. Truth is, I haven't been up to too much. We can talk about some of the changes in 1.4. I love them all except for one massive thing that I don't like, and that is the slimes in the swamp. Ooh, get nice out of that one already. I cannot stand the slimes in the swamp. You know, it used to be, when you started a new game, it was hard to find slimes. And when you finally got them, you felt quite proud of yourself. And then when I first made my first slime farm, man, I felt great. And to replace all of that with just going to the swamp, not my idea of a good time. But like I said, the rest of the other changes I am loving. I think I'm going to head home, tired of being at the swamp. The other changes I'm definitely loving, so gotta take the good with the bad, I suppose. But, let me know in the comments, guys. What do you guys think of the way Minecraft is, shaping up? Do you like, that it's getting a little bit easier? Do you like that they're giving us more stuff to do? Because, like, I love the whole beacon thing. I think they need more stuff like the beacon. I love the Wither. The Wither fight is great. So I think they need more of this end game stuff to keep us busy, keep us with things to do. Because truthfully, I don't have too much more to do. I guess once we get the Iron Golem farm and everything, the next couple of projects are going to be like some sort of auto-cooking cow farm. I would like to get the, what are they? The mushrooms over near the base, but I don't want them on my base because, you know, you ooh and ah when you see one because you want to find a mushroom, but really if you look at them, they're kind of ugly. I feel bad for them. Poor cows got mushrooms growing on them and stuff. So I don't know how much I want them on the base. So for the most part, the only thing there is to do, which I've been putting it off for a long time because, oh man, it's going to be a lot of work, and that's another mob system. But I'm not even going to think about that because that won't be done on camera because that's going to be not fun. So it's going to be Iron Golem farm, probably Enderman farm once we kill the dragon. That's happening this week, I believe, because it's Thanksgiving break if you're from the States like I am. And a very happy Thanksgiving, by the way, if you are indeed from America. Or just celebrating Thanksgiving for some weird reason. I don't know why you would. But happy Thanksgiving to my fellow Americans. And I think I'll call it an episode. One thing I'll let you know that's kind of funny. I had some weird light glitches going on up top in the mob system. And I was in there just checking some stuff out and noticed that. I was just in there kind of looking at the design, thinking about what kinds of stuff I could do. Thinking about taking the walls down and putting a roof. I've reconsidered. But while I was in there, I noticed that, and I don't know if this is like a new glitch or something, but some of the water blocks actually were emitting light. So if you notice that your mob system slowed down since updating recently, you might want to go check that out. See if there's any light coming out of the water blocks for some reason, because that's definitely what was going on with me. Anyways, gonna call it an episode at that. I'm going to try to get some of these out a lot more often. Might have less going on in the videos, but we'll have more of them, so it'll be totally worth it. I'm going to kill that skeleton, and then we'll call it a day. Oh, and also I'm going to have that new series with Cindy, Building with Cindy. And we're going to be building a house over at Search's place. Search and Party Posse, so going to have to get a tour of their place soon. So you'll have that to look forward to. Hope you're liking some of my videos. Anyways, I'll see you guys later. So long.